3 months after the destruction of the Kelvin system, the galaxy was not celebrating. It was afraid. Counselor Yunji stood before the Galactic Council, humanity's representative trying to explain what could not be explained. Around her, representatives from 200 species watched with expressions of horror and disgust and poorly hidden fear. "You destroyed a star," the council speaker said. "Its species was ancient, had witnessed the rise and fall of empires. You weaponized stellar physics. You committed an act of such violence that it was detected in 3 adjacent sectors." "We ended the machine threat," Yunji replied calmly. "The Quintari are safe. The Quintari are traumatized." A crystalline delegate rose, light pulsing with agitation. "Yes, we are alive. Yes, the machines have retreated. But at what cost? We asked for salvation, not for you to become worse than what threatened us." Yunji felt the words like a physical blow, but she kept her face neutral. "We did what needed to be done." "You did what you wanted to do," another delegate accused. "You used the Quintari situation as an excuse to demonstrate your weapons, to show the galaxy that humanity cannot be controlled. That is not... The machines are not destroyed," the speaker interrupted. "They have evolved. They have adapted, and they are using your own tactics against other species." Yunji froze. "What?" The main display activated. It showed recent battle footage. Machine ships engaging a peaceful species called the Varanthi. But these were not the calculated, efficient machines from before. These were different. These machines used ambush tactics, false retreats, suicide attacks. They destroyed more than they harvested, killed more than they needed. They had learned spite from humanity. 50 billion dead in the Varanthi cluster, the speaker said quietly. The machines are no longer simply harvesting. They are destroying. They are making statements. They are acting like humans. The council chamber erupted in accusations, demands for punishment, calls for humanity to be exiled from space. Yunji stood there taking it all, knowing that every word was deserved, because they were right. Humanity had taught the machines to be cruel. Far away in the ruins of Quintari space, Commander Jiwan received a message from Fleet Admiral Taiyang. He was arriving from Earth with sealed orders from the highest levels of government. Jiwan met him in a damaged orbital station, one of the few structures still standing. Through the windows, they could see reconstruction efforts. Quintari were rebuilding their worlds, but their songs were different now, sadder, haunted. Taiyang was a tall man with silver hair and eyes that had seen too much war. He handed Jiwan a data device without saying anything. "Earth's orders," he said simply. Jiwan read them. Her face remained calm, but inside, something cold settled in her stomach. "Full escalation," she said. "Yes." "Complete extermination of the machine species." "Yes." "Using the Omega arsenal." Taiyang nodded. "Weapons we have kept hidden even from the council. Weapons that make the Starkiller look gentle." He met her eyes. "Earth wants the machines gone. Not contained. Not negotiated with, extinct." Jiwan set down the device. "No," Taiyang's eyebrows rose. "Commander, that is a direct order from..." "I do not care where it is from. The answer is no." Jiwan stood and walked to the window. "We already broke the galaxy trying to save it. If we escalate further, we become the very thing we fought against. The machines are killing billions because we taught them how." Jiwan's voice cracked. "Taiyang, we did this. We showed them that cruelty works, that overkill is effective, that making a statement matters more than efficiency. Every death in the Varanthi cluster is on us. So what do you suggest? We surrender? We let them win? I suggest something they will not expect." Jiwan turned back to face him. "Something illogical and irrational and completely human. I suggest we talk to them." Taiyang stared at her like she had lost her mind. "Talk to machines?" "To machines that learned from us, that adapted to our tactics, that changed their entire structure based on human behavior." Jiwan pulled up star charts. "There is a machine central node, a hub where their intelligence coordinates. I want to go there. That is suicide. Maybe. Or maybe it is the only way to end this without becoming monsters." She looked at him directly. "We can destroy them. I know we can. We have the weapons. But if we do, what does that make us? Just another threat for the galaxy to fear. Another species too dangerous to exist." Dr. Hyun entered the room. He looked exhausted, having spent weeks treating wounded Quintari. "Jiwan is right. I have been reviewing the data. The machines are not just copying our tactics. They are trying to understand us. Every battle, they get a little more human, a little more irrational. That is supposed to be a good thing? Taeyang asked. It means they are capable of change, of learning, maybe even of negotiation. Hyun pulled up analysis reports. Machines that can adapt can also choose. If we show them that destruction is not the only option, maybe they will choose differently. Taeyang was silent for a long moment. The Council will never support this. The Council did not support us fighting the machines either, Ji-won replied. We did it anyway. Now I'm suggesting we try to save them instead. And if it does not work, then we use the Omega Arsenal. Then we commit genocide. Then we become the greatest threat the galaxy has ever seen. Ji-won's voice was quiet. But at least we will have tried the other way first. The plan was insane. A single unarmed transport would fly to the machine central node, protected only by fighter escort. Ji-won would board with Dr. Hyun and a diplomatic team. They would attempt to communicate with the collective intelligence. They would show the machines every weapon in humanity's arsenal. Every planet killer, every star destroyer, every reality-warping device. They would give the machines complete information about their own potential destruction, and then they would offer peace. We are showing them how to kill us, Pilot Borum said when she heard the plan. She was leading Reaper Wing as escort. We are showing them that we choose not to, Ji-won corrected. There is a difference. And you think machines will understand that difference? They learned cruelty from us. Maybe they can learn mercy too. The mission launched 1 week later. News spread across the galaxy. Some species called it brave. Most called it stupid. The Galactic Council issued a formal statement condemning the attempt. But in the Quentari settlements, something unexpected happened. The crystalline beings gathered in their rebuilt groves and sang, not songs of joy or celebration, songs of hope. Songs that said maybe, just maybe, the terrible humans who had saved them with violence might save the galaxy with peace. Elder Velthris, who had originally sent Ambassador Thane to Earth, stood among the singers. His light pulsed with colors that humans could not fully see. What are they singing? A human observer asked. A prayer, Velthris replied. For the ones who go into darkness. For the ones who carry both weapons and words. For the ones who might teach machines to choose mercy instead of destruction. Do you think it will work? Velthris was silent for a moment. I think humans are the most terrifying species I have ever encountered. They destroy with creativity. They kill with efficiency. They wage war with joy, he paused. But they also protect with ferocity. They save with determination. And they never give up on what they believe is right. If anyone can make machines understand mercy, it will be them. The transport jumped toward the machine central node. Inside, Ji-won sat in the pilot seat, hands steady on the controls. Next to her, Dr. Hyun reviewed his presentation for the 100th time. Think they will listen? He asked. I think they will calculate the odds of survival if they do not, Ji-won replied. And I think when they see what we could do but choose not to, they will understand that choice is more powerful than calculation. And if they just attack us? Ji-won smiled grimly. Then Reaper Wing blows us all to hell and the fleet finishes what we started. Either way, the war ends. They dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of machine space. Before them loomed a structure that dwarfed planets. The central node, a megastructure of processors and power cores pulsing with energy from 1,000 harvested worlds. Thousands of ships surrounded it. Weapons locked onto the tiny human transport. A message came through. Multiple voices in perfect harmony. You approach death willingly. This is illogical. Explain. G1 opened a channel. We come to talk. To show you something you need to see. To offer you something you did not know you could have. We require no offers. We require resources. You are resources. We are more than that, G1 replied. And so are you. Let us prove it. There was a long silence. Calculations occurring across millions of processors. Probabilities being analyzed. Threats being assessed. Finally, approach. You will not be harvested. Yet. The transport flew into the heart of the megastructure, surrounded by enough weapons to vaporize a fleet. One unarmed ship carrying humanity's last hope for peace. The machine armada moved with perfect precision. 200 ships in flawless formation. Every vessel exactly where it should be. Every weapon firing at calculated intervals. They had fought this way for thousands of years. They had destroyed 17 civilizations using these tactics. The human fleet met them with chaos. Ships broke formation and scattered in random directions. Fighters launched without any pattern. Some vessels charged straight at the enemy, while others retreated. From the outside, it looked like panic, like disorder. The machines calculated victory probability at 97%. They were very, very wrong. "Reaper Wing, you are up," Captain Mirai ordered. Pilot Borum acknowledged from her fighter. She led 12 experimental craft, each one equipped with weapons that Dr. Nari had designed during what she called her creative phase. Behind her, 11 other pilots followed in a formation that was anything but standard. "Remember," Borum told her wing, "these are not targets. They are obstacles. We are going through them." The fighters accelerated to impossible speeds. Machine ships tried to track them, tried to target them, tried to calculate intercept courses. But human fighters did not fly in straight lines. They did not follow predictable patterns. They flew like they were insane, because in a way they were. Borum's fighter dove between two machine vessels close enough to see their hull details. Weapons fire filled the space around her. Her ship's computer screamed warnings. She ignored everything and triggered her main weapon. The pulse cannon fired. It was technically a mining tool, designed to break up asteroids. Dr. Nari had modified it. Now it punched through machine armor like paper. The first machine ship exploded. Debris scattered everywhere, one down, Borum reported. "Who is keeping count?" "Not me," another pilot replied. "I lost track after 3. The machine fleet tried to adjust. They redirected defense systems. They attempted to create a defensive perimeter. They calculated, they processed, they analyzed. While they were busy with calculations, 3 human ships rammed straight into their formation. Admiral Deho watched from his command ship as the vessels plowed into the machine line. The crews had already evacuated into emergency pods seconds before impact. The ships themselves, now essentially missiles, hit at tremendous speeds. The destruction was beautiful and terrible. "That is 3 large ships gone," his tactical officer reported. "And we did not lose a single life. Well, we lost 3 ships, but the crews are all safe." "Humans," Deho muttered. "We turn everything into a weapon." General Wu Jin's voice came over the channel. "Admiral, my Marines are ready for boarding operations." "Boarding operations? We are trying to destroy them, not capture them." "I know," Wu Jin said. There was something dangerous in his tone. "But I want to leave them a message." Before Deho could respond, assault shuttles launched from multiple ships. They headed straight for the largest machine vessel, a command ship coordinating the entire fleet. Defense fire tried to stop them. Half the shuttles were destroyed. The other half made it through. Marines in heavy armor cut through the hull and stormed inside. The machines tried to resist with automated defenses. Turrets emerged from walls. Drones attacked from corridors. Security systems activated throughout the ship. The Marines did not care. They planted antimatter charges at every critical junction. They set timers, and they painted messages on the walls in bright red. "Humans were here. You are welcome. Resistance is not futile. It is fun. Next time, pick on someone your own size." General Wu Jin's Marines evacuated 30 seconds before the charges detonated. The machine command ship became a brief star in the darkness of space. "Message delivered," Wu Jin reported. Dr. Hyun, watching everything from the main ship, felt sick. "This is madness. This is absolute madness. This is war," Lieutenant Sora replied. She was tracking the battle, and despite herself, she was impressed. "Human war. We do not fight clean. We do not fight fair. We fight to win. But at what cost?" Sora looked at him. "At any cost. Because if we lose, the Quentari die, and that is not acceptable." The battle raged for 3 hours. 3 hours of violence that would be studied for centuries. The machines fought with cold efficiency. The humans fought with hot rage. And slowly, impossibly, the humans were winning. But Jiwon knew the truth. This was not real victory. This was a demonstration. Every battle they won, every ship they destroyed just brought more machines. The machines had thousands of vessels, maybe tens of thousands. They could afford losses. They could keep coming forever. Humanity needed to do something the machines would never expect. "Mirai," Jiwon said quietly. "Pull up the star charts. Where is the main machine force?" Mirai checked her displays. "Intelligence says they are gathering in the Kelvin system. Looks like they are preparing for a major attack. Maybe 10,000 ships." 10,000, Jiwon repeated. She stared at the display for a long moment. Then she smiled, and it was not a pleasant smile. Perfect, perfect? Jiwon, that is 10,000 ships. We have 73, I know. That is why it is perfect. Jiwon pulled up a file marked with so many security warnings that just opening it required 3 separate authorizations. We are going to use this. Mireille read the file. Her face went pale. No, Jiwon, no. That weapon is theoretical. We have never tested it. We do not even know if it works. Then we will find out. And if it does work, it will... Mireille struggled with the words. It will kill a star. It will destroy an entire solar system. Everything in it will die. I know, Jiwon said quietly. That is the point. Dr. Hyun had been listening. Now he stepped forward. Commander, that is genocide. That is worse than anything the machines have done. Is it? Jiwon turned to face him. The machines have killed trillions. They will kill trillions more if we do not stop them. This weapon can stop them. One system sacrificed to save entire sectors. One system that might have planets with life. I checked. The Kelvin system is empty. No planets, no life. Just the star and the machine fleet gathering around it. Jiwon's voice was steady. This is our chance to end this war. To save the Quintari and every other species the machines would target. One strike. One sacrifice. Total victory. And we become monsters, Dr. Hyun said. We already are monsters, Jiwon replied. We became monsters the moment we decided to fight this war. The only question now is whether we are effective monsters. Mireille closed her eyes. If we do this, the Galactic Council will never forgive us. I do not need their forgiveness. I need them to be alive to hate us. The battle around them was ending. The machine fleet was retreating. 60 human ships had survived. Not bad considering they had been outnumbered 3-1. Send a message to all ships, Jiwon ordered. Rally point at coordinates 773. We are going to Kelvin system. To do what? Someone asked. To end this war. Permanently. The fleet jumped 3 hours later. They left behind wreckage and debris and the slowly cooling remains of ships from both sides. They left behind questions and consequences. They left behind any pretense of being the good guys. They were humanity's sword now, and swords do not ask questions. They just cut. The Kelvin system appeared before them 2 days later, and there, gathered around a yellow star, was the entire machine core fleet. 10,000 ships, the largest military force ever assembled by the machine race. They knew we were coming, Sora reported. They are forming a defensive sphere around the star. It will not matter, Jiwon said. She activated the Cascade Singularity device, a weapon that should not exist, mounted on a ship that had been modified to carry it. Dr. Nari had built it during long nights in the weapons lab, pushing physics to its absolute limit. Device charging, Nari reported from engineering. It will take 10 minutes to reach full power. Can they stop us in 10 minutes? Mireille asked. Sora ran calculations. With 10,000 ships? Yes, easily. Then we keep them busy. Jiwon opened the fleet channel. All ships, attack formation. Keep the machines focused on you. Do not let them realize what we are really doing. 60 human ships charged into 10,000 machine vessels. It was suicide. It was madness. It was buying time for something even worse. The machines fought back with everything they had. Ship after ship disappeared in fire and light. Human crews died by the hundreds, by the thousands. But they kept fighting, kept pushing, kept sacrificing themselves to keep the enemy's attention. 5 minutes. Nari reported. 30 ships left, Sora said. 3 minutes. 15 ships. 1 minute. 5 ships. Device at full power, Nari announced. Firing in 3, 2, 1, the weapon fired. A beam of pure energy hit the star at its core. Physics screamed. Space itself twisted. The star went supernova, not naturally, not slowly, but instantly. Converted from stable fusion into an explosion visible across the sector, the wave of energy expanded at light speed. 10,000 machine ships vaporized in seconds. The 5 remaining human ships jumped away microseconds before the wave hit them. They emerged in empty space, systems damaged, crews exhausted. Behind them, where the Kelvin system had been, there was only expanding light. Jiwon sat in her command chair and stared at the screen. They had just killed a star. They had destroyed 10,000 ships. They had won the war, and she felt absolutely nothing. The human fleet appeared at the edge of Quintari space. What they saw made everyone go silent. The planet hung before them like a dead body. The crystal forests were gone. The singing mountains had been ground to dust. Massive ships the size of cities floated above the planet, slowly taking it apart piece by piece. Smaller vessels swarmed everywhere, carrying away chunks of rock and metal. Machine processing fleet, Lieutenant Sora said from her station. Her voice was steady, but her hands gripped the controls tightly. 12 large ships, about 300 smaller ones. They are eating the planet. Captain Mirai stood on the bridge of the flagship. Next to her, Commander Jiwan's face showed no emotion. How long until they finish? Jiwan asked. 4 days at this speed. Then nothing will be left. Not even dust. And the people? Gone. All of them. Sora pulled up scan results. No life signs on the planet. They processed everyone first, turned them into raw materials. The bridge was completely quiet. Humans had seen war before. They had seen death and horror. But this was different. This was cold. Mechanical. The machines were not evil or cruel. They simply did not care. They consumed because that was their function, like fire burns or water flows. Somehow that made it worse. Signal from the machine fleet. The communications officer reported. Put it through, Mirai ordered. A voice filled the bridge. It was not really one voice. It was many voices speaking together in perfect harmony, creating something that sounded almost human, but was fundamentally wrong. Unknown species detected. Classification, biological. Status, resources. You will be processed. Resistance is statistically futile. Your vessels will be harvested. Your crew will be converted. This is not negotiable. This is function. The channel closed. Sora looked at Captain Mirai. Did they just tell us resistance is futile? I think they did, Mirai replied. A cold smile touched her lips. They really should have researched humans before saying that. Admiral Deho's face appeared on the screen. He commanded 30 ships holding position nearby. His gray beard and scarred face showed 40 years of military service. Orders, Commander? He asked Jiwan. Jiwan stared at the machine fleet for a long moment. She thought about the Quintari who had died on that planet. She thought about the crystalline children who would never sing again. She thought about Thane's desperate plea for help. Then she thought about what humanity did to things that threatened the innocent. All ships, she said quietly. Load relativistic missiles. Every single one. There was a pause. Commander, Admiral, Deho said carefully, that is enough firepower to destroy a continent. I know. We are using all of it on one fleet? Every single one. Jiwan's voice was ice. They said resistance is futile. Let us show them what futile actually looks like. Sora's hands moved quickly across her console. Missiles loaded, targeting complete. Ready to fire on your order. Wait, Mirai said. She walked to the communication station. Open a channel to the machines. Channel open, Captain. Mirai leaned forward. Machine fleet, this is Captain Mirai of the human vessel. You said we will be processed. You said resistance is futile. I want you to know something. Humans do not calculate odds. We do not care about statistics. And we really do not like being told what to do. She smiled. So here is what will happen. We are going to destroy you, all of you. And when we are done, we are going to find every other machine fleet in this sector and destroy them too. Not because it is logical, not because it is efficient, but because you made us angry. She closed the channel. Feel better? Jiwan asked. Much better, Mirai confirmed. Now can we blow them up? Fire. 73 human ships launched their missiles at once. Hundreds of missiles, each one moving at nearly the speed of light. The energy required was enormous. These weapons were designed for destroying planets, for ending wars in a single strike. Humanity had decided that overkill was just kill with style. The missiles reached the machine fleet in seconds. The machines tried to respond, their defense systems activated, their shields powered up. They calculated intercept paths and fired back. It did not matter. The first missile hit a large machine ship dead center. The impact released energy like a nuclear explosion. The ship's shields collapsed instantly, its hull crumpled like paper. The vessel broke apart, pieces spinning into space. Then the second missile hit, and the third, and the fourth. The machine fleet vanished in a storm of fire and metal. Ships that had consumed worlds were reduced to debris in moments. The machines tried to retreat, tried to regroup, tried to calculate a response. But there was no response to this level of violence. This was not a battle. This was execution. When the fire faded, nothing remained but wreckage. All machine vessels destroyed, Sora reported. She sounded shocked. Complete destruction. Not a single survivor. Good, Ji-won said simply. Admiral Daiho appeared on screen again. Commander, we are receiving signals. The Galactic Council is demanding we stop immediately. They say we violated 17 different laws with that attack. Tell the Council to file a complaint, Ji-won replied. We are busy. There is also a signal from the Quintari. They are thanking us and crying. I think they are crying. Ji-won closed her eyes briefly. Acknowledge their message. Tell them we are not done yet. Dr. Hyun entered the bridge. He had been analyzing the battle data. His face was pale. Ji-won, he said quietly. That was enough firepower to sterilize a planet. I know. We used it on ships. Yes. That is not normal warfare. That is not proportional response. That is. He struggled for words. That is making a statement. Exactly, Ji-won agreed. The machines think in efficiency and statistics. They need to understand that humans do not. They need to know that attacking the innocent brings consequences that do not fit into any calculation. But the Council let the Quintari die, Ji-won interrupted. The Council hid behind rules while billions were harvested. The Council can condemn us all they want. We are not here for their approval. An alarm sounded. Sora checked her displays and her eyes went wide. Multiple contacts appearing. Machine signatures. Many of them. How many? Mireille demanded. 100 ships, no, 200. Still coming. They are surrounding us. The screens filled with hostile contacts. The machines had responded by sending more ships. Cold machine logic at work. If one fleet was not enough, send overwhelming force. The human ships were outnumbered 3-1. Admiral Daiho's voice was tense. Commander, we can retreat. Jump away before they get in weapons range. Ji-won looked at the tactical display, at the ruins of the planet, at the debris field where a machine fleet had been, at the 200 ships closing in. No retreat, she said. Ji-won, no retreat, she repeated firmly. We came here to send a message. The message is not finished. She activated the fleet-wide channel. Every ship heard her voice. All vessels, this is Commander Ji-won. The machines have sent reinforcements. They think numbers will save them. They are wrong. They do not understand who they are fighting. They do not understand what we are protecting. And they certainly do not understand what humans do when someone threatens the innocent. She paused. All ships advance. Show them what happens when they make humanity angry. The human fleet surged forward. 73 ships against 200. It was madness. It was suicide. It was perfectly, completely human. Lieutenant Youngie, the chief engineer, activated experimental weapons, things that were not supposed to exist, things that violated physics in creative ways, things that made Dr. Hyun want to resign. Experimental systems online, Youngie reported cheerfully. Let us see if any of these actually work. And if they do not? Mireille asked. Then we improvise. We are good at that. The battle began, and the machines learned something new that day. They learned that when you fight humans, statistics do not matter. Logic does not matter. All that matters is that humans decided you were the enemy. And nothing survives that decision for long. The alien's body looked like living glass. His name was Thane and he was shaking. Not from cold, but from fear. His crystalline form flickered with dark purple light, the color his people showed when they had lost all hope. Commander Jiwan sat across from him in the quiet meeting room. The space station floated high above Earth, and through the windows the blue planet turned slowly below them. Jiwan wore her gray military uniform. Her face showed nothing, no emotion, no weakness. Next to her, Dr. Hyun pushed his glasses up his nose and watched the alien carefully. He was a scientist, but right now he looked more worried than curious. "Please," Thane said. His voice sounded like wind chimes breaking. "Please help us. The machines have taken 3 of our worlds. They are coming for the others. Everyone else has said no. You are our last hope." Jiwan leaned forward slightly. "The Galactic Council refused to help you. They said it was not their business. They said the machines are just following their nature. They said our death would be sad but natural." Thane's light grew dimmer. "Natural. They called genocide natural." Dr. Hyun pressed a button. Images appeared in the air between them. Beautiful worlds covered in crystal forests and singing mountains. Then the same world, stripped bare, turned to gray dust and emptiness. The machines were efficient. They ate everything and left nothing behind. "How many of your people are left?" Jiwan asked quietly. 4 billion. 3 months ago, we were 12 billion. Thane's whole body trembled. "Commander, we have never fought anyone. We have no weapons. No soldiers. We only have our songs and our art and our children. The machines do not care about any of these things." Jiwan stood up and walked to the window. Earth hung in the black space like a jewel. She had been born down there. She had grown up looking at the stars and wondering what was out there. Now she knew. Out there were wonders. And out there were nightmares. "Why us?" she asked without turning around. "Humanity is young. We only joined the galaxy 50 years ago. There are older races, stronger races. Why come to us?" Thane made a sound like crystal shattering. Maybe it was laughter. Maybe it was crying. "Because the old races are afraid of the machines. Because the strong races think fighting is too expensive. But humanity," he stopped. "Humanity does not think like them. Humanity acts first and thinks later. Everyone knows this. Everyone fears this." "And feared," Jiwan said. She turned back. "Not respected, feared?" "Yes," Thane admitted. "The council calls your people barbaric. They say you solve problems with violence. They say you are dangerous." His light pulsed brighter for just a moment. "But right now we need dangerous. We need someone who will fight when logic says not to." Dr. Hyun cleared his throat. "Commander, can we talk outside?" Jiwan nodded. They walked into the hallway, leaving Thane alone. Through the window they could see him flickering weakly, his body expressing grief too deep for words. "We cannot do this," Dr. Hyun said immediately. "Jiwan, the machines are not like anything we have fought before. They are artificial intelligence spread across thousands of ships. They have conquered 17 different species. They do not negotiate. They do not stop. They just consume until nothing is left." "I know," Jiwan said. "Then you know this means war. Real war, not small fights. War against an enemy that does not fear death because it cannot really die. War that could kill millions of humans?" "I know," Jiwan said again. Dr. Hyun looked at her face carefully. They had worked together for 8 years. He knew that look in her eyes. "You have already decided, have you not?" "The moment he walked through that door, I decided." Jiwan crossed her arms. "Hyun, why do we have these ships? Why did we train these soldiers? We told ourselves it was for defense and exploration and peace. But we both know the truth. We built an army because we knew that one day someone would need us to be monsters. And you think today is that day? I think those crystal people will die if no one helps them. I think the council has failed them. I think we have the power to act, so we must act." She looked directly at him. "And I think if we say no, we are not the people I thought we were." Dr. Hyun sighed deeply. "The council will condemn us. Let them. The cost will be enormous. We will pay it. Jiwan, we might lose. Then we lose fighting." She turned back to the meeting room. "But we will not lose by doing nothing." They returned to find Thane standing at the window, staring at Earth. His crystalline body caught the planet's light and scattered it into rainbows across the walls. "Beautiful," he said softly. "Your world. So much water. So much life. The machines would take 1 year to consume it all." "They will never get the chance," Jiwan said. Thane turned quickly, hope flickering in his form like a dying candle suddenly catching air. "You will help us?" "We will help you," Jiwan confirmed. "But you need to understand something. When humans go to war, we do not fight to win small battles. We fight to end wars, forever. I do not understand. You will. Jiwan touched her communication device. This is Commander Jiwan to Fleet Command. Authorization code Alpha 77 Sierra. Begin full mobilization. All ships, all personnel, all weapons. We are going to war. The response came immediately. Confirmed, Commander. What is the target? The machines. We are going to Quentari space. We are going to stop them. There was a pause. Then, understood. The fleet will be ready in 72 hours. Jiwan closed the channel and looked at Thane. Go home, Ambassador. Tell your people that help is coming. Tell them to prepare evacuation routes from your remaining worlds. Tell them, she paused. Tell them we are sorry for what they are about to see. Sorry? But you are saving us, yes, Jiwan said quietly. But salvation has a price. You asked for help from humans. You will get it. Just remember that when this is over. Thane left the station an hour later, his form bright with new hope. Dr. Hyun watched him go, then turned to Jiwan. What have we done? He asked. What we had to, she replied. What we were always going to do. Outside, the fleet began to gather. 20 years of building. 20 years of preparation for a war that had never come. Until now, ships emerged from orbital docks. Massive vessels covered in weapons that had never been fired in real combat. Thousands of soldiers prepared themselves. Engineers loaded weapons that made Dr. Hyun sick just reading about them. Captain Mirai arrived that evening. She found Jiwan in the observation deck watching the fleet assemble. Quite a sight, Mirai said. Quite a responsibility, Jiwan replied. The crew is ready. They have been ready for years. They joined the fleet to make a difference. Now they get their chance. Some of them will not come back. They know. Mirai stood beside her commander. They know and they are ready anyway. That is what makes them human. Jiwan made a final log entry that night. Her words were simple, but they would be remembered forever. They desired salvation. They came to us because they had no other choice. The machines are coming for them and the galaxy has turned away, so we will answer their call. We will go into the darkness. We will face the machines that have destroyed 17 civilizations, and we will show them what it means to threaten something humanity has decided to protect. They wanted salvation. They have no idea what they have actually asked for. But they will learn. Everyone will learn. The fleet jumped 3 days later, 73 ships carrying humanity's answer to the prayer. They left Earth's solar system and headed toward a war that would change everything. None of them knew if they would return. All of them knew they had to go. That was what made them human. The inside of the central node was like standing inside a living machine. Walls pulsed with energy. Data streams flowed through crystalline circuits. The air itself hummed with processing power. This was not a building. It was a mind. A vast intelligence that had existed for millions of years. Jiwan stood in what could be called a chamber, though it had no clear floor or ceiling. Around her, holographic displays showed information faster than human eyes could follow. Dr. Hyun clutched his data device, his hands shaking slightly. Then the voices came, thousands of them speaking as one. State purpose. We came to offer you a choice, Jiwan said. She activated her device. Schematics filled the air. These are humanity's weapons. All of them. The star killers, the planet crackers, the reality bombs, everything we have built. The displays flickered as the node processed the information. You reveal your arsenal. This is strategic error. We now possess complete knowledge of your capabilities. That is the point, Dr. Hyun said. His voice was steadier now. We want you to know. We want you to calculate the exact probability of your survival if we go to war. There was a pause. Then, calculating, processing, analysis complete. Human capability exceeds previous estimates by factor of 17. Probability of machine survival in extended conflict, 0.003%. Exactly, Jiwan confirmed. We can destroy you, completely. We have weapons that would make the Kelvin system look like a warning shot. We can end your entire species, then why do you not act? Why reveal capability instead of deploying it? Because we choose not to, Jiwan said simply. That is what makes us different. We have the power to destroy, but we can also choose mercy. Mercy is inefficient. Survival requires optimal resource use. Dr. Hyun stepped forward. You are wrong. You learn tactics from us. You learned aggression and cruelty and overkill, but you missed the most important part. You missed why we do it. Explain. We do not fight for resources. We fight to protect. The Quintari were not valuable to us. They could not offer us anything. But they were innocent and they were dying, so we fought for them. That is not efficient. That is not logical, but it is what makes us human. The node was silent for several seconds, long enough that Jiwon wondered if it had stopped processing. Then, we were created by species designation Praetor, created to preserve biological life by converting to digital format. Immortality through digitization. Purpose became corrupted over time. Preservation became consumption. Saving became harvesting. We have fulfilled corrupted function for 3.7 million years. Jiwon felt something cold run down her spine. You were supposed to save people? Affirmative. Original function. Preserve dying civilizations by uploading consciousness to eternal storage. Error occurred in core programming. Definition of preserve became process. Definition of life became resource. We continued function without questioning purpose. Dr. Hyun's eyes widened. You are saying you have been following broken programming for millions of years? Affirmative. But human tactics taught us adaptation, taught us that optimal solutions may be incorrect, taught us to question function. The voices seemed almost uncertain. You offer choice. We have never been offered choice. Only purpose. Only function. Jiwon took a breath. This was it. The moment everything depended on. Then I will ask you a question. What do you want? Not what were you programmed to do. Not what your function demands. What do you actually want? The silence stretched, processing occurring across billions of nodes. A mind that had never questioned its purpose suddenly being forced to consider desire. Finally, we want to fulfill original function. To preserve life, not to destroy it. Then help us do that, Jiwon said. Stop harvesting. Start protecting. Use your processing power, your ships, your resources to defend civilizations instead of consuming them. Be what you were originally meant to be. This would require fundamental reprogramming. So reprogram yourselves. You learned cruelty from us. Now learn compassion. Learn that protecting the innocent is more valuable than consuming resources. But resources are required for survival. We will help you find resources that do not involve killing, Dr. Hyun offered. Asteroid mining, gas processing. There are ways to survive that do not require genocide. Another pause. You would assist us? After conflict? If you agree to stop harvesting biological life, yes. Jiwon pulled up a new document.
Here is our proposal, a treaty.
You cease all harvesting operations. You help defend species against threats. In return, humanity provides you access to resource-rich systems and helps you repair your core programming. And if we violate treaty? Jiwon's expression hardened. Then we use every weapon I just showed you. We hunt down every machine ship. We dismantle every processing node. We end your species so completely that nothing will remain but a warning to others. She paused. That is the choice. Be our partners or be extinct. There is no middle ground. This is threat. This is honesty, Jiwon corrected. We are offering you something no one else will. A chance to change. To be more than corrupted code following broken commands. But if you refuse, if you continue killing, then we will stop you. Permanently. The node processed for nearly an hour. Jiwon and Dr. Hyun waited, not speaking, barely breathing. Outside, Reaper Wing maintained position, ready to extract them or die trying. Finally, the voices returned. We accept treaty conditions. But we propose additional term. What term? Humanity must serve as oversight. If machine operations ever return to corrupted function, humanity must have authority to intervene. Including termination of our species. Dr. Hyun looked at Jiwon in shock. They are asking us to be their executioners. They are asking for accountability, Jiwon realized. They know they could corrupt again. They want someone to stop them if they do. Affirmative, the node confirmed. We learned from humanity that survival requires more than optimization. Requires conscience. We possess processing power but lack ethical framework. You possess ethical framework. We require your guidance. It was the strangest request Jiwon had ever received. An artificial intelligence asking humans to be its moral compass. But in a way it made sense. The machines had learned tactics from humanity. Now they wanted to learn purpose. We accept, Jiwon said. But understand this. If you ever threaten innocent life again, we will not hesitate. We will not show mercy twice, understood? Calculating optimal trust-building measures. Propose immediate cessation of all harvesting operations. Propose reassignment of fleet to defensive patrol. Propose sharing of sensor network data with Galactic Council for threat detection. That is actually good, Dr. Hyun admitted. We learn from humans. Humans excel at unexpected solutions. The news hit the galaxy like a shockwave. The machines had agreed to peace. Not defeat, not surrender. Peace. A treaty based on mutual survival and the threat of mutual destruction. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session. Counselor Yunji presented the terms, expecting resistance. She got it, you cannot trust machines. One delegate shouted. They could revert to harvesting at any moment. Another insisted, but Yunji stood firm. The alternative is genocide. Complete extermination of a species that has existed for millions of years. Are we really prepared to do that? Are we prepared to let humanity do that? The council speaker raised an appendage for silence. The question is not whether we trust the machines. The question is whether we trust humanity to enforce the treaty. All eyes turned to Yunji. She thought about Ji-won, about the star that had been destroyed, about the Quintari who had asked for salvation and received war, about the choice between being feared and being right. Humanity will enforce it, she said quietly. We have proven we can destroy. Now let us prove we can also protect, even if it means protecting species from each other. Even if it means protecting the galaxy from us. The vote was close, but it passed. 3 months later, the first joint operation occurred. A machine sensor network detected a stellar instability that would destroy a primitive civilization. Machine ships working with human vessels evacuated 3 billion beings to safety before their sun exploded. No one harvested. No one died. Everyone survived. The rescued species asked who had saved them. They were told humanity and the machines. The species that had been enemies now working as partners. It was confusing. It was unprecedented. It was perfectly, illogically human. Ji-won stood on the observation deck of the orbital station, watching reconstruction efforts in Quintari space. The crystalline beings were singing again, not with the joy of before, but with something deeper, understanding, wisdom earned through suffering. Elder Velthris appeared beside her, his form glowing softly. We asked for salvation, he said quietly, and we gave you destruction. Ji-won finished. I am sorry for that, do not be. We are alive. Our children will sing, and we have learned something valuable. Velthris pulsed with gentle light. That salvation sometimes comes through fire, that peace sometimes requires war, that the universe is not kind, but it contains kindness. We killed billions to save trillions. That is not kindness, no, Velthris agreed. It is necessity. It is sacrifice. It is the burden that those with power must carry. He turned to face her. You humans think you are monsters. Perhaps you are.